Namaskar students. So today we'll start another topic of this fourth unit of your syllabus. So in previous lectures we have learned the basic interactions of charge particle with matter. In those four series of lectures I have started with the very beginning, means I have first derived the Bohr formula, classical Bohr formula, then Bethe-Bloch formula I have introduced, then we have learned how this means high energetic ion beam, heavy energy ion beam interact with the material, that is electronic energy loss. Then I have not given the derivation of nuclear energy loss, so that nuclear energy loss dominate in low energy region, but I have given the formula how it interacts. There are several methods, so I have taken Thomas screening potential to calculate the Bohr formula. If anybody is interested in detail, they can go to the any book which I have given in a reference book, like Michael Nastasi by ion implantation or ion solid interaction with Michael Nastasi. Another book is very nice book, that is the fundamentals of radiation material science with Wash. Then I have introduced interaction of these light charged particles like electron, proton, positron with materials, because this Bethe-Bloch formula or classical Bohr formula was not valid for the light charged particles. So I have just given introduction and how it is differ from the energy loss formula for the heavier charged particle. I have given little flavor of Bremsstrahlung radiation. Then again I come back to the in detail. I have discussed very detail about how the interaction of charged particles takes place. Heavy charged particles, that is heavy ions with materials. So nuclear energy loss, electronic energy loss, and then discuss the basic interactions of low energy, means when the energy of the ion is very low, that is of the order of kilo electron volts. So in the region of where nuclear stopping dominates, where nuclear stopping takes place, so there we have calculated, we know that atomic displacement take place, creation of point effects take place. So I have explained how the radiation damage is created. This Khinchin-Pease formula I have introduced, I have derived. Then we have learned how to calculate displacement per atom, and then I have given some numerical problems also. And then I have introduced another term, that is swift heavy ion irradiation. So when the energy of the ion is very very high, that is of the order of Bohr velocity of the target electron, then that ion is referred to the swift heavy ion. Then in swift heavy ion basically interact with the electron. When it interact electron, there are 3-4 processes take place during interaction. So I have discussed this thermal Coulombic explosion process, then I have discussed thermal spike process, then I have discussed pressure spike or shock wave model. These models I have discussed. Then I have shown some experiment simulation regarding the thermal spike calculation, and then I have finished the lecture. That was the 4 lecture series, and that lecture series is very very important for your syllabus. Okay, so at least one or two, maybe one question or two question will be asked from that part. So today I will start, that is application of ion beam in solid state physics or material science. So this is again is a very important topic of your syllabus. So this topic, this lecture, this series, maybe series of lecture will give how one can utilize accelerator, or how one can utilize ion beam for their research in material science, condensed matter physics or solid state physics. Even this ion beam are nowadays used in nuclear physics, used in biology, that is radiation biology. Nuclear physics experiments are even not possible without ion accelerator. Used in a geology, geography, environmental science, geophysics, several branch of science these ion beams are used to do the research. So let us come back to the our topic, that is application of ion beam in solid state physics. So this lectures I have prepared from most of the part will be I have prepared from this that is again very famous book, that is Swift Heavy Ions for Material Engineering and Nanostructuring by D.K. Awasthi and G.K. Mehta. And some of the topic I have taken from research paper. So those topics which I have taken from research paper, I have given the reference. Okay. So let us come back. If you see solid state physics or material science with ion beam, so that is solid state physics in material science with ion beam by using ion beam. So we can categorize, yeah, we can classify this use of ion beam, use of accelerator in material science or solid state physics or condensed matter in three ways. One way is material synthesis. One can fabricate, yeah, one can synthesize material using energetic ions. Another way is whatever materials you have prepared, let us say you want to change the property of that materials. For example, let's say you have prepared some diode, you have prepared some transistor or some any other device, and you want to send those device in a space, let us say Chandrayaan, moon, space, Mangalyaan, any missions, and you don't know what type of radiations are there. So you may expect that, okay, maybe there gamma may be there, or electron may be there, gamma radiation, electron radiation, maybe X-ray, maybe energetic heavy ion beams may be there. Then you radiate those materials in laboratory and you study what modification has been done, and then you can predict that, okay, if this device will go into the space, this property will change, and the change in property due to the basically this particular irradiation of the ion. So by using this material modification, one can modify the existing property of material. Okay, one can modify the existing property of material using high energetic ion beam. Okay, so we know that ion beams are we have categorized maybe high energy ion beams, maybe low energy ion beams. If energy of ion is, let us say, greater than tens of MeV, less than MeV, that means where nuclear energy loss dominates, that is nuclear stopping dominates, so that creates defects, radiation damage within the material, so that will modify in different manner. Similarly, this if energy of the material is greater than tens of MeV, where electronic energy loss dominates, then material modify in different manner. That we have discussed in our previous lectures. So here electronic excitation, in case of this greater than tens of MeV ions, this electronic excitation take place. Electronic excitation, ionization takes place. Because of that, thermal spike process, Coulomb explosion process, pressure spike process, these models are proposed to explain the modification of materials. And in case of nuclear energy loss, low energy ion beams, there we have discussed the Kenchel-Peace formula has been used. Radiation damage, atomic displacement, defects, point defects, Schottky defects, all kind of defects can be fabricated, and on this basis material properties has been explained. And similarly, one can use ion beam for material characterization. Let us say you have fabricated, you have designed some material, synthesized some material. How one can characterize that material is really good or bad, that device is good or bad? So that can also be used. That characterization can be done by using heavy ion beam, by using accelerator. Again, depending upon the energy of the ions. Let us say if energy of the ion is, let us say, some few MeV, like 1 MeV, 2 MeV, or 3 MeV, then these nuclear techniques, these are known as the nuclear techniques. So these techniques are basically material characterization techniques which are based on the ion beam. So these are known as the nuclear techniques for material characterization. So experimental nuclear techniques. Okay, so that is RBS, Rutherford backscattering, and then RBS channeling, Rutherford backscattering channeling. Another type of experiment, that is particle induced X-ray emission and nuclear reaction analysis. So these are some nuclear techniques which can be used to characterize the material. So this energy required of few MeV, that is maybe 1 MeV to 1 MeV, 2 MeV, or 3, maximum 3 MeV. Okay. Similarly, if the energy of the ion is, let us say, much higher, let's say of the order of 10 MeV to 100 MeV, then another nuclear techniques are there. So that is known as the elastic recoil detection analysis, that is ERDA or ERDA channeling. So these are techniques can be used to characterize the material. Similarly, here I have now discussed about the material synthesis or material fabrication. Again, this can be classified depending upon the energy of the ions. If the energy of the ions is very low, that is of the order of electron volt to few kilo electron volts, let's say 50 electron volt, 25 electron volt, 100 electron volts, let's say 10 kilo electron volt, 50 kilo electron volt, 100 kilo electron volt, 200 kilo electron volt, then so these techniques can be used to fabricate the material. So that is, first is ion beam assisted deposition, second is plasma deposition, third is DC sputtering. So this and RF sputtering, these are very famous thin film fabrication technique. Like this plasma deposition is thin film deposition technique, ion beam assisted deposition also a thin film deposition technique, DC RF sputtering also thin film deposition technique, then magnetron sputtering, ECR plasma based deposition. So these all are basically thin film deposition techniques which are based on the ion beams. Here the energy of the ions are very low, that is of the order of electron volts or few kilo electron volts. Similarly, if the energy of the ion is, let us say, of the order of kilo electron volts, 10 kilo electron volt to million electron volt, as we know that we can do the doping into the material. Let us say we have prepared some material and we want to make P-type or N-type or transistor or any device. So this so we can dope the material by appropriate doping. I have discussed in DPA rate when during the Khinchin-Pease formula calculation. So we know that how much doping we have done, we can calculate the peak concentration and then we can calculate the how much doping concentration is there. I have given one assignment also. I have shown the numerical problem how to calculate the percentage doping into the material by using this ion beam techniques. Similarly, ion implantation can be done. So this ion implantation is very famous, and this is, I think, oldest technology. Whatever this electronic advancement you are observing nowadays, that is because of the ion implantation technique. The first diode, transistors, all the integrated devices, all the ICs, whatever you are using, all these devices are made from the ion implantation technique, and they use energetic ion accelerator, heavy ion accelerator or ion accelerator, just to implant the material into some material. Okay, then one can make compound phase which are not feasible by other methods. One can make by compound phase. Another technique, this compound phase can be synthesized by ion beam mixing, that is IBM, ion beam mixing. So this technique is very famous to fabricate the device compound phases, which cannot be synthesized by which cannot be fabricated by any technique. So that is can be done by the ion beam mixing. So I will discuss these techniques in I will give flavor of these techniques. Okay, so let us move. So in order to understand all these material synthesis or material modification or material characterization, how this energetic ions, how ion beams are used in solid state physics or material science, one has to understand phenomena during ion solid interaction. Okay, as I have already discussed, ion solid interaction, basic phenomena in terms of nuclear energy loss and electronic energy loss. Okay, so let us suppose that we have a target material here. If you see, these target atoms are there, so these blue circles. If this target materials is bombarded with the energetic ions from the accelerator, so accelerator is basically somewhere here, that is giving high energy charged particles, that is energetic ions, heavy ions. If this heavy ions falls on the target material, so we have learned that several phenomena may occur. What phenomena may occur? Depending upon the energy of the ions. If the energy of the ions is low, so the possibility is that this ion may not penetrate the target. Okay, and it will lose energy within the material and it can sit inside the material. it may sit inside the material. Okay, if it is sitting inside the material, so I have given it the black dot. If it is sitting inside the material, so this is known as the ion implantation technique. So this technique is known as the ion implantation. Okay, so I think I forget to mention this ion implantation. So here I'm doing the online. This if the energetic ion sit within the material, so that is known as the ion implantation. Okay, so this is ion implantation if the energetic ion seated inside the material. Another possibility is that if this energetic ion is falling on the sample, so possibility is that this energetic ion it will not sit inside the material, it can move backward direction, means it can move in backward direction after scattering with the elastic collision with the target atom. Means when it is coming and it is colliding with the target atom, the possibility is that this energetic ion after hitting the target atoms, it can move in a backward direction. So that phenomena is known as the back scattering. So if we catch these back scattered atoms and characterize and measure the energy, then this gives a technique that is known as the Rutherford back scattering technique. So this is the basic principle of Rutherford back scattering. Okay, so this is giving the Rutherford back scattering technique. Similarly, another possibility is that if this energetic ion is hitting the target and it is depositing its energy to the target atoms, so there may be possibility that if the work function of this target atom, if the energy deposited by ion is greater than the work function of the target atom, then target atom may come from the surface. ओके, जैसा आप लोगों ने कभी फील किया होगा कि अगर गेहूं का ढेर है या अनाज का ढेर है, अगर उसमें एक पत्थर मारा जाए तो क्या होता है कि पत्थर जब मारते हैं तो जो पत्थर अपनी काइनेटिक एनर्जी या स्टोन अपनी काइनेटिक एनर्जी जो ग्रेन्स हैं उनको अगर ट्रांसफ़र करेगा तो ग्रेन्स, गेहूं के ग्रेन्स या राइस के ग्रेन्स क्या होंगे, वो बाहर निकल के आएंगे. ठीक है, तो सेम फिनोमेना यहाँ पे हो रहा है कि व्हेन एनर्जेटिक आयंस इज हिटिंग द टारगेट, तो सम ऑफ द टारगेट एटम्स में कैन कम आउट फ्रॉम द surface of the target. So this phenomena is known as the sputtering. This erosion of surface atoms from the target is known as the sputtering, and this is happening because of the energetic ion. So this is known as the ion sputtering. Okay, so if we catch this sputtered atom and characterize and analyze and measure the energy, then this give another technique, new technique. So that is secondary mass ion spectroscopy. So I have not mentioned SIMS. So that is secondary mass ion spectroscopy, or that is sputtering phenomena. That is sputtering. Another phenomena, when this energetic ions hit the target, obviously there may be ejection of electron, there may be emission of photon. So this photon may be two three types. Maybe if the photon wavelength is falling in the region of X-ray, so this will give a technique that is known as the particle induced X-ray emission. If this is energy is in gamma ray range, so that is particle induced gamma ray emission. Maybe nuclear reaction take place within the targeted material, so that is nuclear reaction analysis take place. Another possibility is that if this energetic ion is hitting the target and it is sitting inside or it is not sitting inside, but the target atom will move into the forward direction. Okay, means the direction in which ion beam is falling. So ion beam is falling in this direction, and this target atoms, they also move into the same direction. Okay, and they come out from the target. So this mechanism is known as the recoil. Maybe you have learned somewhere in the collision physics. This is known as the recoil. If the target material is coming from the surface, so that is sputtering, but the sputtering is happening in the backward direction. Okay, so that is then there will be a difference between sputtering and back scattering. Sputtering is the target material basically sputtered into the backward direction, but back scattering is the energetic ion which is coming and hitting the target, and same energetic ion is getting back scattered. getting moved in backward direction. That is the difference between sputtering and back scattering. That is why this I have denoted with same target atom, and this is I have denoted with the energetic color, energetic ion color. But I have changed the color because after scattering, the energy of the ion will change. And here I have again shown this recoil. This target atom will move into the same direction in the direction of ion beam, so that is known as the recoil. So this same target atom. So if you catch these target atoms and characterize the energy and measure the energy, then this gives you a technique that is known as the ERDA, that is elastic recoil detection analysis. So these techniques I have explained in previous slide, that PIXI, NRA, RBS, ERDA, okay, these things. Similarly, this if the energetic ion is hitting the target, we know that ion implantation take place, and maybe nuclear collision will take place, electronic energy loss depending upon the energy of the ion, electronic excitation, electronic ionization, nuclear scattering, all the phenomena will take place within this zone of the ion. So whatever material modification will be done, that material modification region I have written, that is of the order of nanometer range, due to electronic energy loss and nuclear energy loss. So that what I have mentioned, that is ion implantation, ion irradiation, doping, defects, all will be done within this region. So this is the modified region. So I have explained all these phenomena, means all this technique, all this material science, what material science, solid state physics or condensed matter physics can be done by using ion beams within this slide. Okay. So if one question is asked in your exam, let us say, ki list the name of the experiments, list the experiments which can be done by using ion beam. So you have to list these experiments and how it can be done. So you have to explain by using this diagram as I have explained. Okay, I hope you can do it now. I have explained very clearly and very slowly. Okay. Now question arises. So there are several phenomena. Why this costly accelerator and this ion beam? Why one should use? Why should be bothered about this ion beam accelerator? This huge money is wasting. That question arises, obviously. So the answer is that here I have written motivation for ion irradiation. Why this ion irradiation is so important? Because ion irradiation offers possibilities to modify the properties of material, create vacancies, defects in material with a great precision. That what's required in a experiment. Great precision, very very precise experiment can be done through ion dose. Through ion dose means how many number of, as I have discussed earlier also during Kinchan-Peace formula, ion dose means how many number of ions are falling per centimeter square of the area of the sample. So this dose can be controlled by experimentally, that is in your hand. Okay, so this gives great precision. Another thing, special selectivity. Special selectivity means, let us say you have 1 by 1 centimeter sample, and you want that out of those 1 by 1 centimeter sample, you want only 5 mm by 5 mm modification in your sample, and 5 mm by 5 mm you don't want any modification. If you use any other techniques, so you cannot do by using any other technique, like a solid phase, let us say thermal annealing techniques. If you are using thermal annealing, you have to heat whole sample. But in case of ion beam irradiation, as I have discussed in our accelerator also, that we can increase and decrease the size of the beam. So by focusing, one can do the special selectivity on the sample, and one can modify the different property of a material. Means one can create, let us say we have a 1 by 1 centimeter sample, and you can modify the property in 1 by 1 centimeter sample of, let us say, in several times. Means let us say different space can be created, and different space of the sample will be different property. That can be done only by the ion beam implantation and ion beam irradiation. Another is that, and this modification of the property of the material can be controlled up to a particular depth. As we have discussed, the range of the ion means by choosing the energy of the ion, one can control the depth up to what you want to modify the material. And you want that only from surface to 10 nanometer material should be modified, then choose energy, but particular energy means low energy, means that range of the ion should be only of the order of 10 nanometer. If you want to modify material up to, let us say 10 micron, 15 micron, so you have to choose you have to increase the energy. So this depth modification can be only done by this ion irradiation by using the energy of the ions. And this whatever I am explaining, these are not possible by any other techniques, and these are very controlled technique. Okay, that is why if you see, I have discussed in previous slide that ion implantation technique, why this all the device manufacturing, this integrated device, why this diode transistors all basically fabricated by ion implantation technique, because these are very precise and very controlled. That is why this IBM technology is using this ion implantation technique. Okay, so what are the basic parameter in this ion beam irradiation or implantation? So if you note down, so we know that basic parameter of energetic ions are, that is the energy of the ions. And we have learned in previous lectures during interaction of ion with matter that energy of ions basically change the electronic energy loss, we have seen, and mass of the ions, and this both energy of the ions and mass of the ion both control the energy electronic energy loss into the material. And this AC, electronic energy loss or nuclear energy loss, basically controls the type of defects. So this AC basically, if energy is very high, then means type of defect can be controlled. Here AC and SN both, so AC and SN both can be controlled. So here यहाँ पे दोनों होना चाहिए था, both should be there, so that is SN should be also there and SN. Okay, so this SN should be also there. So this means both AC and SN gives different kind of property into material. Okay, different type of defects into the material. Similarly, mass of the ions also, so that also give the type of defects. Fluence, that another parameter, means how many numbers of ions are falling onto the surface per centimeter square surface, that will decide how many defects you have created in the material. So this will, energy of the ion and mass of the ion will decide the type of defects like point defects, columnar defect, Schottky defects, but the fluence will decide how many number of defects you have created within the material. Okay, and incident, here whatever I have discussed, that is the ion beam falling normally on the surface, but one can change the incident direction of the ion beam. If you change the angle of incidence, and then that can control the surface morphology of your sample. Means surface morphology can be controlled by using the ion beam. Okay, so let us we start the application of ion beam in material synthesis. So one can use, I have discussed ion irradiation, ion implantation, these things I have already discussed, ion beam mixings. So here I have given two application. So just I am giving the overview, like ion implantation, nanoparticle formation. So how one can fabricate, how one can synthesize the nanoparticle within a material. Let us say we have a material and we want to create nanoparticles within this material. Okay, so let us say this is silica or SiO2 substrate. If you want to create gold nanoparticle within this, so inside at some particular depth, so we have to choose gold ions and we have to implant these gold ions. Let us say after implantation, so these gold ion is seated into the silica, silicon dioxide or silicon target substrate. Obviously, because ion is implanted, so obviously there may be amorphous region, because radiation damage is created within the material, so that is why I have written amorphous. So if you heat this implanted region, so if it is depending on the miscible and immiscible system, let us say miscible means let's say when you add oil, mustard oil in water, that is both are immiscible, so while droplets are created. If you let us say if you add sugar in water, the sugar is dissolved, so that is miscible system. So like similarly, So to create nanoparticles, both system, this target system in which we want to create medium and this ion should be, both this species should be immiscible, then nano, after heating treatment, this nanoparticle can be created. So this, you see, very nice quantum dots and nanostructures are created in immiscible system. If these systems are, let us say, immiscible, then this, if you heat, then this implanted system will become crystalline. So that is in miscible system. This energy up to the fuse of 100 kilo electron volt are used to create ion implantation. Similarly, ion beam assisted deposition can be done. So here basically evaporation source is there, and this ion source are there, and these ion source and evaporation source, basically this ion beam assist deposition of thin films on a substrate. So these techniques are used in electron volt energy to the kilo electron volt energy. Okay. So if we try to understand how this ion implantation and this creation of damage are happens within the material, so that in simplified picture, if I try to show, so let us say I have tried to show ion implantation and its consequences in simplified picture. So here we have a target material, okay, and this is the surface of target, and this is the energetic ion which is coming from the accelerator. So when this incident ion is hitting the target, so what will happen? So it is transferring its energy. This is energetic ion is transferring in energy to the target atom here. Then this target atom will recoil. They will move if the energy is sufficient, and this will also change the direction. This is basically happens in low energy. This is happens in low energy ion radiation, okay, because their nuclear, direct atomic collision take place. So what will happen? So this atoms also got energy, and this ion also deviated from its path. So this cascade will create, means cascaded collision will take place. Means after this energetic ion will collide with another, this atom will collide with another atom, this ion is again collide with another atom. So this will create the lot of displacement within the material. So if you see, lot of displacement created within the material. So some of the atoms may come out of the surface. So this is what we have discussed, that is sputtering. And if this is coming back, that is known as the back scattering. So I will show. Here I have tried to show. So this so this is happening. So this, here we have created vacancy. So this may be this target atom is displaced from its position. It may sit as an interstitial. So this ion may sit within the material, that is implantation may created, and this atom may come out, that is sputtered atom. So this is the simplified picture I have tried to show how the ion implantation and ion radiation is done within the material. If this energetic ion, let us say if we have a high energy ion beams, let us say in place of low energy ion beam, if we have high energy ion beam, so this incident ion beam hit the target and it will pass through the material without disturbing the lattice atom. Thus it will create the thermal spike and Coulomb explosion, but what we have discussed in case of during interaction of the ion solid. Okay. But I will show this high energy ion beam radiation also, how it will take place. So this phenomena will take place in some time scale. If you see 10⁻⁻18 second, that is energy transfer from the incident particle to creation of primary knock-on atom, that is pKa. In 10⁻13 second, displacement of lattice atom take place by pKa, that is displacement of cascade, what we have shown. So this means whatever this phenomena we have observed, this phenomena I am showing, this is observed, that is in very short time process. So what I am explaining, this 10⁻11 second, that energy dissipation and spontaneous recombination and clustering, stable Frankel pair, single interstitial atom, and vacancies and defect cluster are created. In less than 10⁻8 second, defect reactions by thermal migration, that this recombination, clustering, trapping, defect emission, all phenomena takes place after that time scale. So this reference I have taken, this Fundamental of Radiation Material Science by Gary S. Wass, you can find out in this book. So we know that different type of defects are there. So what will be the consequences of the radiation? Means what radiation will give. So various type of defects exist in crystalline lattice. This includes point defect, one that is zero dimensional vacancies and interstitial, line defect, that is dislocation lines, planar defect, that is two dimensional dislocation loops, volume defects, three dimensional wide bubbles, stacking, faults, tetrahedrals. Okay, so all kind of these defects that can be created by using the ion beam, by choosing the different energy, different ion species. So here I have shown this occurs due to the ion radiation. So interstitial I have shown, edge dislocation I have shown, voids I have shown, vacancy I have shown, self interstitial atom I have shown, this precipitate of impurity atoms. So the impurity atom precipitate in the material, vacancy type, dislocation loop I have shown, then this substitutional impurity atoms I have shown, this interstitial type dislocation I have shown, maybe amorphous region may be created, that amorphous may be created. Okay, so this can be also understood. Depending upon the dose, as I have discussed, that fluence will decide how many number of defects this is the ion, and ion species, ion energy will decide the what type of defect will be there, and fluence will decide how many defects will be created. If low dose, if low fluence is there, to individual region one ion is hitting, that is creating amorphous, it is creating defects. So this is, you have seen cascade. If it is high dose, the whole sample may be amorphous region may be created. Okay, so this is basically due to the whatever I have shown. This is by low energy ion beam, or sometimes high energy ion beam also we can observe columnar defects. But if you are using a high energy ion beam, so one can create controlled defect formation within the materials depending upon the energy, that is the end. So this is point defect lights, this columnar defects can be created. So defects annealing may be done. So this is I am showing that whatever I have shown, this is for the when energy of the ion is low, that is Sn is dominating, and this is I am showing when the energy of the ion is very high, that is Ac is dominating. Okay, so this, if you see cluster of point defects, discontinuous tracks, latent tracks, that amorphous columnar defects is there, maybe defect annealing may be take place, that is the ion path, and the energy, AC energy, that energy depleted by the electronic energy loss. And this is how the thermal spike takes place, I have shown. So that is the track of the cylindrical track, that is, and this is the ion impact zone, this is the radius, and if you see, that is the temperature which is increasing very high, and as we are moving from the axis of the ion to the far from the axis, then this temperature is decreasing. So that's this is the melt, Tm is the melted zone, and this is the track radius. Okay, so that I have shown. So in today's lecture I will stop here, and in tomorrow lecture I will come with the remaining topic of the your syllabus. Okay, thanking you very much for listening. Stay at home, stay safe. If you like this lecture, please like my lectures, and share these lectures with your friends, so they can be also get benefited. And I request one thing, that please subscribe my YouTube channel, so as soon as I upload these lectures on YouTube, so you will get notification, and you will get notification, so you can see my lectures when I upload on YouTube channel. Thanking you very much for listening me. Thanks a lot. We'll meet tomorrow once again.